Hello and welcome back for another week of Mobile Music Thursday, the show on Disc Jockey News TV where we talk about what's hot in music for mobile DJs playing proms, weddings, all the mobile events that keep our world rocking right along. And so we start off every show with looking at what's new and notable, what's coming up in the most downloaded music, and what is to watch to include in our playlist so that we stay ahead of the curve and ahead of the requests, because we know that they're going to come and we're going to want to know where to play them and what to do with them. Plus, we also feature a guest on every show where we talk to somebody who's out in the business, tearing it up, doing something really great. This week, we're going to talk to Mitch Taylor, and he's going to tell us all about how things are going in the 2000s, from 2000 to 2010. What are some great songs that are still working in that era? Plus, an artist that is emerging from YouTube that is absolutely terrible, yeah, but yet seems like everybody's going crazy, even getting requests for it. So we'll tell you about that coming up in just a moment when we talk to Mitch Taylor of Tailored Weddings, our featured guest today on Mobile Music Thursday. First, let's look at what's trending and what's moving up. So I noticed the number one spot on the most downloaded songs, Ariana Grande has moved up with Problems. Yes, the girl from Sam and Cat, who, it's a kids show. If you ever watch Nickelodeon, if you have kids, I've caught her there. Anyway, on that show, she has this really annoying voice. It's like, hey, I don't know, this is what we're doing, yeah. And I thought she was just a bad actress. But then I saw her on American Idol, and they're like, so, great to have you on the show. How do you feel about your song being number one? Well, I think it's really great. I'm like, oh, she actually talks that way. So it's a good thing that her singing is way better than her talking that has her at number one. And no doubt this is going to be a song that you're going to want to be playing this summer on the dance floor, as it's going to pretty strong and holding steady up in some serious high numbers in downloads. Some other songs, Jason Derulo's come out with Wiggle. This is a song that gives you instructions on what to do with your big fat butt. Maybe you can follow that right after the Cupid Shuffle or other instructional songs that we have. And then there's, let's see here, another one that's coming up at number 9 that just popped into the top 10 of most downloaded songs. Nico and Vin's Am I Wrong? It's kind of a slow groove, slow jam, kind of a groove, but something that definitely could work and be put into a mix. You'll have to let us know and see how these are catching and working. Sometimes even though that their downloads are high, the hook factor on the dance floor isn't necessarily. Now there is one song that's new and notable, and I think is going to go to the top of my playlist, to something that I want to try out and see if it's really going to grab, because you've got two really great combinations. You have Justin Timberlake, who is always great, makes a great hook, and combine that with Michael Jackson with Love Never Felt So Good, and you've got a song that's going to bring out a couple of generations out to the dance floor to get down. It has both the flavor and the feel of Justin Timberlake and that contemporary sound, as well as that Michael Jackson groove, that signature groove that we know so well. So give that one a try and see how that works. Now, let's go ahead and talk to our guest today. I'm so excited to have on the show the very successful Mitch Taylor of Tailored Weddings up in the UP of Michigan. He's got an extraordinary company going on there, and he makes a huge contribution to the industry as well. If you want to learn how to sell your business, sell yourself, he has materials, he's mastered that, plus he's put together materials so that you can help learn how to do that. Plus, he's an incredible mixer as well. He does great beat mixing. He did a beat mixing clinic a number of years ago. I saw him. I was so impressed. So I'm really honored and excited to have Mitch Taylor of Tailored Weddings on the show. Mitch Taylor of Tailored Weddings, it is awesome to have you on the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Hey, Jason. It's great to be here.
Someone of your caliber on my little music show will make it famous yet. It might even become as famous or have as many views as that recent request for that song that you got for an event, which kind of blows my mind. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I was out at an event and recently got a request for On the Floor, which, as DJs may know, is
Jennifer Lopez on the floor?
J-Lo and Pitbull, right?
Yeah.
And no, it's by a guy named Ice JJ Fish. That's his rap name.
Uh-huh.
And come to find out, his real name is Daniel McLeod. And it's like a car wreck. Honestly.
It is a terrible, terrible, terrible song. Terrible performance.
I mean, the beat starts off pretty kind of groovy, you know, and then his voice happens.
Right, and he doesn't use auto-tune. He's all his awfulness is all natural.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. The auto tune is not there.
Or maybe we should say it's
It's
raw and illin.
yeah.
Well,
It's like a car wreck. You
but
can't
it's
help but
amazing though. So you got a request, and how old was the person? Would you guess that requested the song?
17.
17. Okay, so someone in like high school, teens,
Yeah.
like totally into the music kind of thing, and we look up his music video on YouTube, and there's over 20 million views of this horrible. I don't know if it's an original or a cover, but
Uh,
it's
yeah.
a horrible. I couldn't identify it when I was just listening to it.
It's over 20. It's almost 21 million views.
That's
20,770,000. It's just ridiculous.
that's just incredible. And so did you play it?
The event actually hasn't happened
Oh,
yet.
it hasn't happened. Oh, this is a request
Yeah.
for an upcoming event.
Yes.
All right. So have you verified if they're actually serious that they want you to play this awful
I don't
song?
think they're serious that they want me to play it, honestly.
Wow.
It's
It's
my
like
gut.
you have to tell them I have to give the backstory on this song in order to play it, right?
Right. Well, and then if you get the backstory, then you're kind of setting it up for failure sometimes.
Well,
And
no,
so,
well, but you could say like this guy has like
right.
here's an artist and a young undiscovered independent artist with 20 million views of his song online.
I
Play.
don't
So
think say he's undiscovered when he's got 20 million views.
Right, that's true. I guess undiscovered by anything mainstream, right?
True.
But
Yeah.
what's amazing is like it's not like this one is unique. If you look at the other videos he has, like none of the other videos are really much better. They're not better at all. They're the same. He's awful. He's a bad singer, but he does get the formula right of having pretty girls in his videos who don't seem to
Yes.
mind his singing for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of all the bling he's bringing in from his monetized videos.
Well, I think it's a case of he's not actually singing to the girls on the video shoot. He's lip syncing.
Right. And they get to look pretty with 20 million views.
Right. Exactly. They're an internet star.
That's the key. So when you have pretty girls in your music video and you can't sing well, lip sync. Don't actually sing around them. Otherwise, then it would require acting skill for them not to make sour faces, right?
Yes. So bring a camera to a playground. No,
Or maybe not.
that's a different show.
What is astonishing to me is that on YouTube people can like it or dislike it. So out of that 20 million, 186,000 people bothered to say I like this song.
Exactly.
Who are they, and how can I attract them to my video channel? Because if their standards of entertainment are that low, I think they might dig what I do.
But I think it's a car wreck situation, honestly.
Right,
I think
it's so bad.
you can't help but look at it,
Right.
listen to this, what's going on.
And then tell your friends, look at how bad this is. Look at
Right.
this. Yeah, it's like he gets the what are those like Rotten Tomato awards? They have they have awards for things that fall flat. But 86,000 people did say they didn't like it though.
I did see that. Yeah. So 140,000 liked it, 86,000 didn't like it.
Right.
Regardless, he still got over 240,000 people to respond.
Right. I know.
Like
Unbelievable.
getting a yay or a nay.
And 160,000 followers on YouTube, which is really remarkable. Which really kind of plays in, and this show is, we talk about music and what we're going to play and what's working and what's not working. Which one of the things that we keep coming back to for DJs now working are the two biggest factors that are becoming really big challenges for us in the profession of performing as a DJ. Unless you're in a situation where like you're in a club and you're isolated and people are there just to experience what you create for them. But in our cases, most of the time in mobile, we're there on the floor, we're accessible, people are interacting with us, they're making requests and things like that. And so now like the sources of like what's popular, like you had a request for this song, like where did this come from? And it's not even like really danceable. It's not like Gangnam Style or something.
We've splintered so much due to our proliferation of media that's out there. It's no longer the top 40 that we once knew it to be, even though top 40 still exists, obviously, as a format. But we're so splintered in our choices because of YouTube, because of Spotify, because of Pandora, because of, Last.fm. I mean, all these other things that are out there that have just completely splintered our musical choices. Someone said to me the other day there was a bear chant or something style of music. I'm like,
really?
What? Never heard of this before. It's just ridiculous, I think.
And this is going to be our new hook. Like right after Cupid Shuffle is the bear chant.
Yeah, I don't know. I just seriously. Okay.
Well, I mean, it makes it more increasingly challenging between that and then also like there's much less comfort with. I'm just going to kind of roll with where the DJ goes. In the 20 years that I'm DJing, I'm noticing much more dramatic effects where I'll go from one song to another song where 2/3 of the floor will just like walk off, and I'll be like, holy cow, what happened? I had a good set going, and it seems like it's like the mentality is much more kind of like song to song to song rather than I'm going to ride the vibe of what you've got going here kind of thing. It just seems to have shifted. And there's nothing wrong with the audience. I'm not implying that. But it's
Right.
like how we approach putting our music sets and putting our music together has changed. Do you think?
Yeah, I do. And I've always been a big proponent of, in fact, I did a seminar for Map DJ called Creative Mixing a couple years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like
It was
3 or 4 years
great.
ago now, where we just basically talked about mashing up your sets of music, and how you can go from, and, we're going to, Yeah by Usher, obviously a huge hit in 2005, into Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, country hit in whatever year that was, '06, something like that. And they're on the same BPM, but you can completely go from genre to genre and switch up, and beat mix your sets and mash up your sets so that,
Right.
The problem I feel a lot of DJs got into for a long time, myself included, back in the day was, you started every single set with oldies, and then you did, rock and roll, then you did some disco, then you finally got dance music, and then grandma left at 10 o'clock at night because, he's playing rap, I'm going to go home.
Right. It's young people music time. It's like
Right.
It's 10 o'clock and it's time to like kick out all the rock and rap.
Right. And now Eminem pops on and I'm out, and that's, it was okay, but that format, to me, that formatting of music is tiring, and people don't want that anymore, at least in my observation.
Go ahead.
Well, no, at least in my observation, people aren't wanting that anymore. They want, the switch up music quicker. They hear the hook, or some songs you can't do that to. Some songs are sacred, in my opinion, but, for the most part, that's what you got nowadays.
Yeah. Well, in radio, how radio stations format too is sometimes a good barometer because they're constantly doing research to basically find the music that's going to have the most amount of appeal, that is going to keep a person listening of a certain age group and a certain gender all the time. And like on the adult hit stations, which are basically for your mom kind of thing. So the moms of our brides are who they're appealing to. And what they're programming in there now and showing great appeals are for Kesha and Lady Gaga, and a lot of the things that would be like more like that's teen music or that's college music is totally like that's mom's music kind of thing. And so just another reason to kind of reinforce what you're saying about like, kind of mixing in your contemporary recurrents like the Katy Perry's and that sort of thing earlier in the night, not just kind of doing the straight like, okay, we play to the old people, now we play to the young people.
Yeah.
It threads all the way through, and there's a lot more of a mixture than there was before.
Well, and that also kind of dovetails into our programming from a standpoint of where we look at what are oldies.
Right.
What is retro?
I know.
Retro for me, being a 39-year-old male, is late 70s, early 80s. I hear Welcome to the Boomtown by David and David, and that's retro to me. Erasure is retro to me.
Right.
Kids nowadays are like, ooh, Big Willie style, that's retro.
Right. Or they say like play REO Speedwagon. I like the oldies.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So now, I mean, because now like guys like you and me are doing weddings for our classmates' children. We're starting to. And so like we're the age of the parents, so like we're like, okay, well we'll play stuff your parents did because well we lived it, and we do know the newer stuff too, to throw in there as well. And so oldies are like you said, are like really 70s 80s now. But there's still some great songs like, I don't know, there's still a category I think of like really great music. Like it's just a really great song that I think even in 10 and 15 years that I'll still be playing. Like, Build Me Up Buttercup, great sing-along song. It'll probably appear in a movie between now and 10 years from now, to revive it. It's just one of those really great songs. Rockin' Robin. These are clearly kind of like your 60s sock hop type tunes, but there's a handful of these that are just such great songs that they kind of transcend generations, and they also carry through. And I think there's also a certain element that there's a certain set of music that we have been, as mobile DJs, wedding DJs, we have been keeping alive because people have been hearing those songs at weddings generation after generation.
Absolutely, and pop culture has a huge impact on what we play. You mentioned "Build Me Up, Buttercup," 1968, great hit by the Foundations.
Yeah.
However, that song came back huge with "There's Something About Mary," right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
That movie in the late '90s, early 2000s, whatever it was. There, I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
And it came back very strong with a vengeance, if you will. When people were like, "Is that hair gel?"
Yeah, right.
and they were totally, digging that and playing that song at weddings again. When Old School came out, the movie Old School with Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bonnie Tyler from 1983 was all of a sudden thrust back into our lexicon, and we're playing it again at weddings, and people are screaming out the not so good lyrics,
right?
That was in Old School. So yeah, it's amazing how pop culture can take those songs that were once, passe and not cheesy, if you will, to play at a wedding or something, and all of a sudden thrust it back into, ooh, that's cool again.
Right. Well, right. Well, and like the one as you're going down the list of movies, I mean, the extent of which Wayne's World, the movie, brought back Bohemian Rhapsody. Was like a tidal wave of like, we love this, we want to sing along to it. I mean, even still now you can put it on. It's like, oh great, let's go out and do the Bohemian Rhapsody sing along. Yeah,
and we're all headbanging to Bohemian Rhapsody, and two guys are becoming famous from Aurora, Illinois, just like Ice JJ Fish.
Just like Ice JJ, exactly.
And we're back.
Only I enjoyed watching their headbanging to a song that I knew and liked better than listening to Ice JJ. Sorry, Ice JJ.
Well, I enjoyed the girl in the video. Oh, well.
That was pleasant to watch, I will say. So, add a little mute, and it's okay.
If I just, turn the sound off, I'm fine.
Maybe add your own soundtrack.
I could appreciate the artistic musings of Ice JJ Fish at that point.
Oh, and I appreciate his commitment. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like, I'm sure somebody told him, you're a terrible singer. You're a terrible rapper. Don't do this. But he said, actually, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway.
On his Twitter, if I pull up his Twitter here right now, his Twitter states on his homepage, it says, the best singer in the world.
There you go. So he does not lack for confidence.
He's confident.
And with 20 million views, that's got to tell us something, right?
The rawest.
He's got an audience.
All the best singer in the world. 160,000 followers on Twitter.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I keep asking myself, what can I learn about this in terms of social media marketing?
That you have a platform.
Yeah. The power is there. It's just a matter of like leveraging and attracting that audience.
Exactly. You have to become a car wreck.
Yeah, you have to become a car wreck. See, there's the book you can write, Mitch. How to Become a Car Wreck in 6 months and attract 2 million viewers.
20 million views. I think he already has that
car wreck.
Yeah.
or followed up by talent doesn't matter. Kidding, of course.
Yes.
Anyway, so continue with our music theme. I want to ask you about, and one of the things we always do in the show with all of our guests is we look back. We jump at the way back, and we look at what are some songs from the past decades that are still really strong and really great go-to songs to be able to use in the dance floor. And in this particular case, we're talking about weddings and wedding dances. So as you think to that era, which it kind of becomes an era of a decade from 2000 to 2010. What are some songs that are still really strong go-to songs for you? If you could think of like 2 or 3 really strong go-to songs, and then where do you like to place them?
Well, for me, it's for programming. It's all about, okay, where is the age of my client? Is it a younger bride? Is it an older bride? Where is she at? What was the most popular music when she was growing up? So if we take a 24-year-old bride in today's day and age right now, which is probably one of the average ages we'll be doing a wedding for this year,
Sure.
then she was born in 1990, which is scary for me, but
Right.
that's
It's best
what
not
it
to
was.
think about it.
She was born in 90, which puts her, in the popular songs for her. I mean, she was 15 when "Yeah" by Usher came out.
Right.
That was a song she relates to.
Yeah.
And you talked about songs that stand the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
That song will always stand the test of time. It's
will.
always going to be the number one banger by him that people play at a wedding, I feel. Other songs that are popular from that decade, Nelly, "Hot in Here,"
Yep.
is still hot for us.
Ride with Me still
Ride with Me will still pack a dance floor. Lady Marmalade with Christina, Little Kim.
Is it Marmalade? I always called it Marmalade, but I could be pronouncing it way wrong.
We should be checking that out. Marmalade.
There we go.
Potato,
I'm sure somebody will say in the comments, this is how you pronounce it.
Exactly.
I live to be corrected.
Hey Ya by Outkast.
Oh yeah, that was like huge. That was one of the most downloaded songs for the longest time.
Yeah, it's so artists and songs like that truly will stand the test. Even, for your older crowd, if you will. And you mentioned, some of these artists that are kind of crossing over now, mom's music, if you will, the Kesha and Lady Gaga. Back then it was Santana, Smooth.
Right.
Is all the rage again when Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20 hopped on and did the guitar riff, or Santana the guitar, I should say, and Rob Thomas hopped on the vocal for that song.
Right.
If you want to drop another, club banger that people are like, oh my gosh, I remember when that was hot, Family Affair, Mary J. Blige.
Oh yeah. That one still is really strong.
Into Club by 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm.
Still works today. So a lot of these songs will still work again, and you can freshen up your dance floor. And again, just go back to realize how old's your client, what's the demographic. And yeah, there's going to be exceptions to the rule. I've had grandmas come up and say, "Can you play Baby Got Back?"
Right.
So there's going to be exceptions to the rule. But if you go back and look at what was hot back then, what can I pull out of my collection and drop and is going to make them explode, that's gold.
Right. Well, one of the things that I really love that we get to enjoy now that we didn't have, say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, is that on my computer, when I'm using Virtual DJ, I've got a history of pretty much every gig that I've performed. So I can kind of go back and peruse, like, well, what was I doing a year ago? And I can actually go back and kind of see what I've been playing, what I've been consistently playing to actually pull out, like, oh yeah, because it's like, if I didn't have like playlists to work off of, I forget more great songs than I can remember.
Well, and here's another factor too. When a client comes in with us at Tailored Weddings, we find out where they came from. And if they came from, I was at Amanda and Brett Spigarelli's wedding. We loved what you did.
Right.
Now I can go back and Brett Spigarelli's wedding, see what I played, and then not that it's going to be a carbon copy. I mean, don't get me wrong, but to have just like a cheat sheet to work off of what that crowd loved.
Right.
Boom. It's great.
Absolutely, and it helps. If anything, we want, like, we can create more insurance that we're going to hit a home run when we go and perform, and that everything is going to be amazing. Not like, the games during dinner were fun, but the dance was okay. But like everything was like, it just keeps getting better and better and better. I mean, that's the goal.
If we can leverage technology to our advantage, we should absolutely use it.
Absolutely. And for those that say that the technology is just taking the skill out of it, I say, contraire mon frere, technology enables you to automate things so you can do even more creatively.
Was that mon frere? Is that what you said?
I don't know.
It's mon frere.
Is it mon frere?
Yeah, it's French.
I live to be corrected. I didn't know that. See, I grew up saying mon frere all the time. But it's mon frere, huh? The things I'm learning. I'm going to have you on as a guest every week.
Mon frere.
Mon frere. Oh, thank you for your time. I know you're super busy. You've got like bookings like crazy. You're heading into your wedding season, and you've got a really crazy season up there in the UP, making everybody really happy with the shows that you create for them. So thanks for taking time out to be on the Mobile Music Show with me, Mitch.
Thanks, Jason, for having me. Have a great show. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Okay, well, that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to leave your comments down below the video right here on YouTube. We'd love to hear what you think and what you think of the show, what you'd like to see more in the show, as well as share with us what's working and what's not working for you. Maybe I'll have you as a guest on our next Mobile Music Thursday show talking about what we all love and why we do this. And that is music. Next week, we're going to check in with Jeremy one more time to see what's happening in the prom area. Jeremy Lanby of The Undertakers does tons of proms, and he's right in the middle of his prom season, so we're going to find out what's been working and what hasn't been working and what's really hooking to get us ready for a summer season of dancing fun. So that's coming up next week here on Mobile Music Thursday. Until then, keep spinning. Talk to you later.